Hi guys, today I'll be showing you the easiest way to attach a pocket to your dress. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. And if this is your first time here, please click on the subscribe button and also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. So this is the dress I'll be attaching the pocket to. I've already gone ahead to finish up the dress, and what I have left is just to fix the pocket to the dress. I've also closed up the sides of the dress. So for the pocket, I'm going to be using this piece of fabric you see here for the pocket. And the width of the fabric I have here is 24 inch while the length is 21 inch. So if you want your pocket to be bigger than this, you can simply go ahead to extend the width and the length. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to fold the piece of fabric into two like this. Then I'll go ahead to fold it over again like this. Once I'm done doing this, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to mark the pocket opening on the folded part of my fabric like so. So the opening for the pocket is going to be 8 inch. I'm going to go ahead to mark 8 inch like this. Once I'm done doing that, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to place my hand like this. Then I'll go ahead to draw a shape like you see me doing in the video. So if you want the pocket to be deeper than this, you can simply go ahead to extend it depending on how you want it to be. Once I'm done doing this, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut out the shape I have on this piece of fabric. Once I'm done cutting it out, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to notch this part of the pocket. So I'll be attaching two pieces to this side while the other two pieces is going to be on the other side of the gown. Once I'm done cutting out the pocket, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to move over to the dress. So first I'll go ahead to turn the dress to the wrong face like you see me doing in the video. Once I'm done doing this, I'm going to go ahead to mark where I want the pocket to be on the dress. And in doing that, I'm going to go ahead to place my tape rule on the nape of my shoulder like so. Then I'll go ahead to measure from the shoulder to the half length, after which I'll go ahead to mark. Once I'm done marking that, the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to also mark the pocket opening on the dress. So remember, we mark out 8 inch on the pocket, and we are going to go ahead to mark the same 8 inch on the dress like you see me doing in the video. Once I'm done marking it, next I'm going to go ahead to do is to mark the same point on the other side of the dress. So this is what we are going to be having. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start placing the pocket on the dress. And in doing that, I'm going to be placing it on the side seam allowance. So make sure that the good face of the pocket is facing the good face of your fabric. So I'm going to go ahead to open up the side seam like this, after which I'll place the pocket like this. Then I'll go ahead to keep it in place with my pins like you see me doing in the video. So once I'm done with this part, I'm going to go ahead to repeat the same process on the other side like this. I'm going to go ahead to keep it in place with my pins, making sure that they are both aligning. Once I'm done with this, I'll also be repeating the same thing on the other side of the dress. Then I'll go ahead to show you how to stitch the pocket to your dress. So now I'm going to go ahead to show you how to stitch the pocket to the dress. So before we're going ahead to attach it to the side seam of the dress. So when stitching the pockets, you're going to be stitching it close to the side seam, and you'll be stitching each of them to each of the side seam allowance. So remember, the allowance is open like so. You're going to stitch one on one side and the other one on the other side. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start stitching. And when stitching, I'm going to be stitching close to the seam on the dress. So remember, I've already gone ahead to join the side of the dress together. So when stitching, I'm going to go ahead to stitch close to the seam I already have on the side of the dress like you see me doing in the video. So once I'm done stitching this part, this is what it is going to look like. So now I'm going to go ahead to stitch the other part. So I'll turn my fabric like so that I'll be able to see the seam I have on the side. Then I'll go ahead to run a stitch close to the main seam of the dress like you see me doing in the video. And also when sewing, make sure that you are adjusting it so you don't stitch on the other side of the allowance. So make sure you adjust it before you start stitching. So once you're done stitching it, this is what it is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to remove the pins I use in securing the pocket to the main dress. The next thing we are going to go ahead to do now is to close the sides of the pocket, and in doing that, you're going to go ahead to start stitching from the main seam you have on the dress like so. So you're going to go ahead to stitch, and you stitch into the pocket by 0.5 inch. Once you are done doing that, the next thing you're going to go ahead to do is to turn your dress like this. After which I'm going to go ahead to close up the sides like you see me doing in the video. So once you get to this point, you're going to go ahead to stitch it to meet with the main seam you have on the dress like this. Then you go ahead to stitch it downward by at least 1 or 2 inch like this. So once I'm done doing that, this is what we are going to be having. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to notch the pocket. So I'm going to go ahead to notch the side of the pocket like this, and I'll be repeating the same thing on the other side of the pocket. So once I'm done notching it, I'm going to go ahead to move over my ironing table to give it a good press. Here I have my fabric turned over to the good face. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to give the side seam a good press. So you make sure that you press it very well and the seam on the side lays flat like you see me doing in the video. So after giving it a good press, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to loosen the part where I attach my pocket. So I'm going to go ahead to use my hand to locate the part where the pocket is. Then I'll go ahead to open up the seam on that part. So just the part with the pocket alone. So I'm going to go ahead to loosen it like you see me doing in the video. After I was done loosening the side, this is what the pocket is going to look like. So this is what you should have once you have the side open, and this is what the pocket is going to look like once it is being brought out. As you can see, we are having a very neat pocket and the side seam is also looking very nice. So if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to, and also don't forget to give this video a like and a comment. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial.